After a long absence, Randall Carlson is back on the scene and he is firing back at his critics. Let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, please share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Oh, and if you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Okay, let's just get right to it. Maybe 6 months or so ago, Randall Carlson went on Joe Rogan and he made some fantastic claims. Talking about how he has partnered with this inventor who, according to Randall, has rediscovered lost ancient technology, you know, high technology, maybe Atlantean or something like that, of the sort that may have been used in the construction of the pyramids, that kind of thing. As a refresher, let's watch a few minutes of a video that I made at the time where Randall is explaining this very thing. Well, he has been in touch with the Mazda company because it appears that Mazda, in secret, working in the Maldives, has reinvented or rediscovered this ancient technology. So I'm about to share a clip with you. Randall is expressly talking about Tesla in the beginning because Tesla, Nikola Tesla, is said to have rediscovered or reinvented this lost ancient technology. His Tesla Tower in particular is said to be a callback to the Great Pyramid. And generating the energy, even having the water that runs underneath it, was all part of this engine of creating energy. And I will have a lot more to say about that in an upcoming video that I'm going to make about the pyramids and remote viewing the pyramids. Some really crazy information has just come my way. It's just really mind-blowing. But so is this, because this could affect our modern world very soon. So here's the clip.
Here's an example of what they're doing. This is a generator that has no moving parts. It's all based on geometry, pure geometry. Mm-hmm. And here's the basic idea, as I think I understand it at this point. Resonance frequencies, everything vibrates. Have you ever, like if we had an electric razor, we plugged it in, turned it on, set it on this table, bzz, it's going to move around, isn't it? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the concept because it's vibrating. Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. And I think that's the basic idea of what we're looking at here. And it's all based upon the ancient numbers. And they're developing technologies right now, and they have been. I was recently contacted and given the go-ahead that I could talk. I've been sitting on this for 7 years without talking about it because they asked me not to talk about it until they had their patents in place and their licensing. That's all happened since last summer. So we're now free to talk about it. So that's what I'm saying. I think it would be a good idea to get me back on here. We can look at it. I'm going to lay this on Graham so he can look at it too, because I really want to get Graham's feedback on this.
I mean, would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of a lost technology from the past?
I think it would be fair to say that, yes.
Yeah. And so through this technology, they're able to move stones or cut stones or all the above?
All the above.
And even transport them? Whoa,
Yes.
what is all this?
Well, this is the model, and this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again, that I've been talking about in my sacred geometry classes for decades without knowing what the final result was going to be. So this inventor who's working with this small group contacted me, and this is what he told me. He said, you built the foundation. He said, you laid the foundation with your work on ancient geometry, and I built a house on top of it. That's what he said. Nice. So for 7 years, he's been supplying me with all the information. I have copies of all the patents. I have videos of the testing of the prototypes. And Mazda, the car manufacturer in Japan, is getting ready to do a $25 million testing of some of these prototypes that they believe they can retrofit internal combustion engines with. And there's over 100, they've developed over 100 patents on some of this stuff. And it's amazing.
And what would be the fuel?
Well, plasmoids. Plasmoids, as it says here, are donut or toroidal-shaped clusters of net protons or net electrons that once captured and placed into a toroidal orbit are capable of absorbing, storing, and releasing enormous amounts of energy within their self-generated and structured electromagnetic containment field. Plasmoids, in effect, function as an atomic battery that can be self-charging due to its ability to convert matter to available clean energy. So it's a lot to get into, and I think it would take us kind of off what we're here to talk about today.
At least what's promising is that there is some, at least, research or understanding.
And it's actually quite mature at this point. And in order to avoid the kinds of fate that befell Tesla and Reich, Robert Oppenheimer, Victor Schauberger, and so many others that were working in these fields, all kind of converging on this same insight. It's been conducted in secret. The laboratory that they've been developing this is in the Maldives, so that it's been immune from government interference. And now I think it's about ready to go the next.
Now, what is the motivation of the suppressing of this information?
I think in case of Tesla, wasn't it military, the fear of military applications?
I also think that, you know, there are huge corporations that have very large investments in a particular path of technology, which is ours.
Right.
And for somebody to come up with a whole new path of technology, it's very threatening to them.
Okay, after that episode of Joe Rogan came out, Randall Carlson came under a lot of fire. He was being attacked right and left. People were trying to discredit him and especially discredit the inventor that he was working with. Really smearing him badly and trying to turn the whole thing into, oh, Randall Carlson got duped by a quack, basically. And, you know, it looked really bad. And, you know, what was being shared on social media looked really damning. It really did. I didn't weigh in on that. I wanted to see what Randall had to say about that before I commented on it. And I'm glad I did, because now Randall is firing back. And let's listen to what he has to say.
Randall, before we get started, a hot topic right now is the controversy of what went down on the Joe Rogan program about plasma energy. Would you like to make any comment on that before we have you disclose some catastrophism?
Sure, I'll say a few words about that. I've just this new interview that I did with Danny Jones, formerly the Danny Jones podcast, formerly Concrete with a K. I kind of went into pretty much detail on that, and I'm going to be going into that on more. But essentially what went down was this. About 8 years ago, I started having a conversation with an inventor, scientist, a geochemist, who was living on an island in the Indian Ocean, who had been through the meat grinder with one of the major oil companies. And he was an oil prospector, which was kind of a natural thing for somebody with a geochemical background. He had discovered an oil reservoir, an oil deposit, and he had obtained the drilling rights from the government of the country that it was in. And there was one of the major oil companies that had overstated their reserves by 30% and had found themselves kind of in a pickle and thought that this oil reservoir was promising enough that if they could obtain the license to drill, it might solve their problem. And so they went on a campaign to discredit Malcolm the inventor and paint him as a nut job to try to scare away investors. So they bribed politicians, they bribed journalists and so forth to create this smear campaign against him. So what happened to him was kind of a precursor to what's happened to a lot of people in the last year or two. If you look at what's going on with Russell Brand right now, you know, here you've got accusations by anonymous sources with no evidence other.
Okay, well, he goes on and he goes into some detail and some length and I'll let you watch the full episode at your leisure. I love the Jeff Maurer show. I watch it all the time. Really a great resource for near-death experiences, also some alien abductions, and just has some really great guests with some great interviews. So as Randall Carlson is a interesting sort of guest to have on his show, because he's not a near-death experiencer that I know of, or an alien abductee that I know of, but a fascinating guest for any program to have on. Hey, maybe I can have him on someday. But there you go. Randall Carlson is firing back at the critics who smeared the inventor and him, and saying that this was a deliberate smear campaign from this oil company. So, let me know what you guys think about all this. I think this is very exciting if this inventor is on the level, and if he can pony up with the free energy or whatever he's able to pony up with. I am all on board. So bring it. Bring it. But, seeing is believing. So I can't wait to actually get my eyes on some of these fabulous inventions or rediscoveries of lost high technology. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.